Welcome to Moneyport. First up, Washington versus DeGulu. Business partners battling over how to grow their multi-million-dollar company. Carlton Washington Features. In just a few short years, sales have soared over 2,000%. But now they're butting heads over the next step. Carlton wants to risk $500,000 of their own capital to open a third corporate location, while Dennis says no thanks. He says franchising is the way to go. With neither side budging, they're letting Kevin make the call. Go corporate or franchise.
Carlton, let's start with you. State your case.
I have over a $500,000 money dispute with my partner, Dennis. We currently have successful corporate stores here in the anti-aging space, and I want to keep growing the corporate route. I want to build a third corporate location. I wanted to really skip out on the franchising so we can retain more profits and get quicker to a early retirement.
Dennis, let's hear your side of the story.
Hey, Mr. Wonderful, thanks for having us. My goal is to keep focusing on the franchise. The franchise is growing. We're selling locations nationwide. And if we keep focusing on them, they're going to keep growing. They're going to keep bringing in royalties. And eventually this will be on cruise control. With the corporate side, it's more stressful. Financially, it costs more. But the franchise right now is in huge growth phase, and I think we need to focus on that.
A classic case of corporate versus franchise, whether to use your own capital to grow or use other people's money. This has been debated in America for decades. How did this thing start?
2014, I moved down here to South Florida reluctantly, really following my wife's career. I wanted to do a bodybuilding competition. While searching for someone to coach me, I came across Dennis. He was highly recommended, and he started coaching me, started getting good results.
I see mild-mannered reporter, a little fat, and then after 12 weeks,
Kevin,
totally ribbed. That looks fantastic.
Yeah, we had some good success.
Dennis, you obviously get Carlton in amazing shape for his bodybuilding competition. How did you two come up with this idea to open an anti-aging place?
We found this void in the industry. We were both patients of these services. We were going one place for blood work and one place to buy our vitamins and then one place to get hormone optimization. We were like, why doesn't a place exist with all this under one roof?
We started talking and it just said, this is time to take a chance. And we had upward success every single year ever since.
How many corporate stores do you have and how many franchises do you have right now?
We currently have 2 corporate stores. Hopefully we'll have 3 if I win this argument. But we have a little bit over 20 franchise units. We have Arizona, we're going into Maryland, New Jersey, Georgia, Texas.
Give me some numbers then. What is it? Let's just take the 2 corporate locations.
First year in 2014, we only did 214,000. But just to give you an idea of the growth, we went from 214,000 to the very next year in 2015 doing 2.1 million.
Whoa.
And then now we're trending up over 4.5.
4.5 million on the 2 corporate locations?
Yes.
Everybody wants to be forever young.
Wow, that's really impressive. Okay, what are you making in the bottom line?
On a consistent basis, we see no less than 23 to 25%. And that's with an extremely heavy overhead cost that we carry.
When you can achieve and maintain north of 20% pre-tax, there are very few sectors in the economy you can do that in. This is better than the S&P margins. This is absolutely spectacular. Obviously, you can afford to franchise this. How does it work?
We basically market it as a business in a box. So we handle, obviously, the construction. We have project management, the operations, pre-sales. The playbook is handed over, and then it's a 7% royalty from there.
What kind of problems have you had with your franchisees?
To me, knowing the amount of energy that Dennis and I put in this business, to see someone else not put that level of passion into it really kind of hurts us.
You're going through a very stringent due diligence process, and anybody that can afford to do that is serious about this business.
They might be serious about the business, but we're serious about the lifestyle, and Forever Young is a lifestyle.
So the 20 franchise locations, they're paying you 7% of top line. Okay, what are you going to bring in 2021 in aggregate across the 20 locations? What are they going to pay you?
It's hard to determine because we don't know how many locations we'll have profitable.
So in franchising, there's a process. So by the time you sell a franchise, you have to build out the franchise, then they open, then they ramp to break even, then they go to profitability. So you might not see that full 7% for a year and a half.
And how many years have you had franchisees out on the market? 2?
Yeah, I think
A
we're
little
right at
under
2 years now.
18 months.
Okay, so that business isn't really what we call stabilized yet. It's an investment of your time and their money, and it's not producing anything yet. And the corporate stores are killing it. 23% on $4.5 million. The reason you would franchise is you don't have any access to capital. You somehow can't raise money, either debt or equity. So you start using individuals' money to start franchising out, and the only reason they'll give you their money is they look at your two corporate stores. I'm sure they all visited you and said, wow, you're making 23% on $4.5 million. I want to be part of that club.
If we're going to go the corporate route, you're going to build one store at a time, very, very slowly. It's going to take many, many years. Yes, it could be done. But on the franchise side, we may be around 20 locations now. We could have a year and a half, 2 years from now, we could have 100. That's the rate that we're growing at right now. And yes, we're going off royalties. But remember, royalties is almost pure profit.
You mentioned the word royalties. Mr. Wonderful knows royalties, okay? It's 10 to 1. The headaches of 10 franchisees just to make what you make on one store.
We don't have to open one at a time. We could take on the money and open 4 at a time, 5 at a time, and do this a lot quicker because, I'm a little older than Dennis right now, and my kids are getting older faster, and I like to spend a little bit more time with them, and we're working our asses off all the time, and I like to get a little bit of my time back. And so control is a big thing, and really getting to a little bit of freedom again and independence is what's attractive.
But Carlton, you opened another corporate location, number 3. You guys have to make sure that it's being done the way that you want it to be done. How is it not appetizing to you to start turning over more, control to these franchisees, and they're creating that profit that Dennis is talking about, then you can spend more time with your family, then you can retire faster.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I still feel like, hey, we're in the anti-aging business. I feel like 2 more years, we can go back in the hole, do it again, do it again, do it again. And at the end of that time, that's when we'll spend time with the family. That's when we'll get our time back.
How much time are you spending in the 2 that you have already? How much time do you spend at each location right now?
Right now, we basically all we do is work, work, work. I mean, we don't have much time for anything else.
We have something to do almost every day, but that's the point. I mean, if I'm already in it, might as well double down in it.
I think Carlton's also forgetting all the stress we had opening the second location. It's been a while now, but if he starts thinking back to it, he's going to start remembering all the crap we went through. Construction running late. We did run out of money and really had to take on some expensive debt. And it really wasn't smart and almost actually cost us the business. I mean, there was a lot of headaches that we went through.
But we figured it out, which is why now I feel so much more confident about doing it again.
Now, are you married? You mentioned you have a family?
Yes.
How does your wife feel about opening a 3rd location?
She doesn't like it.
Why doesn't she like it?
She knows how we operate, and if we're going to open a 3rd location, we're gonna do it right. We're gonna give it our all. But then again, she also enjoys the fruits of the first 2. So that's really not something I'm considering at this time.
But it's not just what you want, because you got a 50-50 partner who's sitting right here. Dennis, are you happy?
I love the business. I mean, I could stay in it forever if we're doing what we're doing, as long as we can manage the stress, which I think on the franchise side, we can manage that. On the corporate side, I don't know if Carlton remembers. I mean, I don't want to get into your health, man, but you remember the stress that brought on? I mean, you're complaining chest pains and anxiety. I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that he's not mentioning right now. I'm not really sure I want to go through that.
Carlton, what kind of health issues are you having? Carlton, what kind of health issues are you having?
At present, I'm not having any. I mean, there's definitely some periods over the last 7 years where we had some scares.
Is that part of what your wife brings up when she tells you, please don't open a 3rd corporate store?
Sometimes, but luckily I'm with Forever Young, and we're able to monitor my health and do the right things to keep going. So.
But you're into wellness, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of people die early from stress.
Ada, we're all going to die. Let these guys make a little cash flow on the way.
And then die early? What good is all that money going to do his wife and his children when he's dead? I'm sure they'd much rather have him around and have him healthy than have all that money.
Actually, there's a little secret I want to tell you. If you make 23% margins, you never die. Cry me a river. Every entrepreneur has to work 25 hours a day. I'm not worried about your health. You guys are taking drugs to stay alive. It looks terrific.
So hold on.
Don't worry about it.
Kevin, I know it's hard for you to hear this, but it's not always about money. I mean, this guy,
It's
they're
really
exhausted.
about money on this one. This is a fantastic business.
There's a lot of money here. A lot.
I've heard enough. Before we render a verdict, we're sending you to the breakout room. When we come back, I'll give you my decision. Ada, Katie, let's deliberate this one. Wow, what a business.
It is a great business, but these guys are burning out.
They're too young to burn out.
They're not going to burn out.
They're running a business.
Look, all they have to do is check into their clinic twice a week. This is just an unbelievable opportunity.
They have
An unbelievable
They have
opportunity
hit
to
this one
put more
out of the
stress,
park.
to get more health problems.
Listen, it's going to be stressful either way, Ada.
I can't pick up what the women are thinking.
And then you got the shark. You know, he's obviously money, money, money. I mean, he even said, let them make some cash while they're on their way to die, basically.
It's so rare that you can get an opportunity to take $500,000 and turn it into $3 million in 18 months. They have found the fountain of youth for cash flow.
You still get a good payday at the end if you do the franchise route and might live longer.
Dennis doesn't want to do this again.
Yes, he does.
He said he didn't want to do that anymore.
Don't worry
Like, he
about it,
wants
I'll
quality
fix it.
of life at this point. I mean, there is a value in quality of life.
Yeah, more cash, better quality.
Well, what about the fact that Carlton and his wife may be the next money court case?
He doesn't care what she wants on this one. He only considers what she wants when it's just aligned with what he wants.
You notice his wife wasn't there listening to that. I don't know if he's saying that to his wife
But
if
you know,
she's present.
you can have a life plan. Let's be fair about it. If their life plan is they want to sell this business, they have to optimize cash flow in the next 3 years. If I was an investor in them right now, I'd sit down with those two guys and say, look, we're at the crossroads here. And if I want to ask myself, in 36 months, 3 years, you want to sell this business? There's only one answer. Okay, I've made my decision. Let's bring them back. Guys, you'll create value in either path. It doesn't matter whether you go the franchise route or whether you go corporate. But what we have proven today are 2 optimized corporate locations that are achieving remarkable pre-tax margins, over 20%. Very rare in America. And so I have to side with Carlton. You want more of these corporate locations, spinning off 23%. You're going to get paid an extraordinary amount of money for those. So my final verdict, you're going to spend $1.5 million in the next 3 years on 3 new corporate locations while you wait for your franchisees to prove their model out. You have proof in your corporate location. You don't have that yet in the franchise ones. I wish you the best of luck. And I have to tell you, you are the American dream, you guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
You know, after hearing Mr. Wonderful's decision, it's like, I kind of see his point.
I know that in the long run, Dennis is going to appreciate and like the success, and it's going to be shared success. And so I think he's going to be okay with that, and we can joke about it later.